Thank you for joining us this Monday, November 25th evening for our Durham County Board of Commissioners regular session. I will get us started with the public charge. The Board of Commissioners asks its members and citizens to conduct themselves in a respectful, courteous manner, both with the board and fellow citizens. At any time, should any member of the board or any citizen fail to observe this public charge, the chair will ask the offending person to leave the meeting until that individual regains personal control. Should decorum fail to be restored, the chair will recess the meeting until such time that a genuine commitment to the public charge is observed. Vice Chair Burns, will you lead us in the 9th acknowledgement?
As we convene for the Durham County Commissioners meeting, it's crucial to recognize the painful truth of history. We stand on the stolen ancestral lands of the Catawba, Eno, Occaneechi, Shikari, and Tuscarora peoples, whose deep connection to this land predates our arrival. We acknowledge with humility the unjust displacement and violence that occurred, leading to the disposition of indigenous peoples from their homelands. Their resilience in the face of such adversity is a testament to their strength and spirit. May we humbly honor the ancestors and elders of these nations, both past and present, by committing ourselves to fostering understanding, healing, and justice for all who inhabit this land. Let us walk forward together with open hearts, acknowledging the past and embracing a future guided by compassion, respect, and unity. Thank you.
Thank you, Vice Chair Burns. Commissioner Howerton, would you like to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance? Thank you, Commissioner Howerton. Are there any adjustments to the agenda? Hearing none, I will pass it to Clerk Wallace for our announcements.
Good evening, everyone. I will read the announcements published in tonight's agenda. Most Durham County government offices will close in observance of the Thanksgiving holiday on Thursday, November 28th and Friday, November 29th. Our offices will reopen with normal business hours on Monday, December 2nd. For information on specific impacts to our services, you can visit dconc.gov. Did you know that Durham County youth participated in the 2024 election through Kids Voting Durham? Durham's youth have spoken. Over 18,000 youth across Durham cast their ballot in the 2024 election. In 51 participating schools at Durham libraries, book harvests, and other community locations in the youth groups, at Election Day precincts and online, youth were able to voice their votes for the candidates they wanted to lead. See the KVD election results. There is a link, kidsvotingdurham.org. And those interested in kids being a part of KVD, you can contact Carolyn Kruger at ckruger@dconc.gov. Kick off the winter holidays with the annual Durham Holiday Parade at 10 a.m. on Saturday, December 14th. Cheer on hometown bands, drill teams, schools, and community groups as they make their way down Main Street. The procession will conclude with a guest appearance from Santa. Learn more at the City of Durham Parks and Recreation website, dprplaymore.org. Durham County Memorial Stadium will host the 69th annual NAIA Football Championship game at 12 p.m. on Saturday, December 21st. The game will pit the top two teams that advance through the NAIA Football Championship Series, which runs from November 23rd till December 14th. You can read more about it at their website, naia.org, and you can also purchase tickets at Durham NC Sports. Downtown Durham has a new restaurant, Anjapar Indian Restaurant, and it's open in one of the two retail spaces in the Durham County Government Admin 2 building, which is located at 201 East Main Street. We hosted a grand opening on November 20th with a ribbon cutting ceremony. The business will contribute to the vibrancy of downtown. It has hours independent of Durham County government, Monday through Friday, lunch 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. and dinner 5 till 10 p.m. Saturday, Sunday, lunch 12 to 3 and dinner 5 to 10. For additional information and to view their website, it is anjapardurham.com. And that concludes the announcements in tonight's agenda.
Thank you, Clerk Wallace. Are there any additional announcements from commissioners? Vice Chair Burns?
I had one. I told Dr. Lewis, who was here earlier for the reception, that I would make this announcement for him. Raise your hand if you have a driver's license. That is wonderful. That means you can possibly go and get some CDLs. Raise your hands again if you have a driver's license. Oh, all of you all about to be our new bus drivers. He did it much better. But as many of you all have seen in the news, they're going to a partial rotation for bus drivers. I don't think we've ever had to do that in the history of Durham Public Schools. One of the really beautiful things that they are doing, they're actually paying for the CDL course. There is a sign-in bonus, and they have gotten the state to approve, if I'm not mistaken, a more truncated course. So in the event, if you have some time to pick up children in the morning and drop them off in the afternoon, because we know they have better outcomes if they get to school on time, but we will share that information. I'll get it to the clerk. My apologies, clerk, for not getting it there, but I did tell Dr. Lewis, we don't want our kids to have to miss out on days of school. I think we all know that we have parents who are struggling to get to work, and it's hard on them. So if you know somebody, by all means, please tell them about this program, and please let's try to make sure that we do not have to reduce our birth services here in Durham Public Schools. And now I don't have my CDLs, Lord have mercy, I don't, but my mama's here tonight, and one of the things that I'm most proud of, I'm not asking you to do anything I wouldn't ask my mama to do. She did that for 20 years, drove the bus before she taught in her classroom. Mama, raise your hand. Thank you. So if my mama can do it, y'all can do it too. Thank you so much. That's my announcement. And it's a shameless plug about my mom's cooler than your mom.
Thank you, Vice Chair Burns. Any other announcements? Okay. With that, we will move to the minutes, approving the minutes for our November 4th work session and our November 12th regular session.
I move that we approve the minutes.
Second.
Okay, moved by Commissioner Carter, seconded by Commissioner Jacobs. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, minutes are approved unanimously. We'll now begin our ceremonial items where I'll pass it on to Manager Hager.
And while Manager Hager is headed up, it's customary that we do this. We do have a few dignitaries in the audience. I see City Councilwoman Deidreana Freeman from the City of Durham. How are you this evening? I also see former school board member, City Council member, Councilwoman Wagstaff. I see Sheriff Burkhead. I see President of Durham Tech, J.B. Buxton. I see Senator Mike Woodard. I also see our former school board member, Javanya Lewis. And shout out to the newly appointed Mayor Pro Tem of Raleigh. Stormy Ford is also here. So if I missed anybody, blame my head, not my heart, but welcome to our chambers. My goodness. And oh gosh, also of great import, we also have former Democratic leader and former Secretary of the North Carolina Department of Military and Veterans Affairs, Secretary Larry Hall. Hi, sir.
Madam Chair and members of the board, good evening. And thank you to everyone who was watching or who joined us. We had quite a large crowd for this special evening. We are celebrating the service of our 3 dynamic, talented county commissioners who are participating in their final meeting. I want to also thank everyone who joined us earlier, and as I said, there were quite a few who joined, to personally say job well done to our honorees. First, I honestly want to say this feels like we're breaking up the band. Certainly it has been a special privilege and honor of our staff, employees, and the entire Durham community to work with this historic all-female Board of County Commissioners. I am sure all of you recall the headlines from late 2020 when this board was established. Durham's first entirely female board elected in its 139-year history. The swearing in of this all-female Board of Commissioners is quite historic. The first county commission of all women elected in North Carolina. The Durham Board of County Commissioners has influenced the narrative regarding diversity in leadership a trend to keep watching, and more. And let me also remind everyone, this board took office when we were in the throes of COVID. We had to literally figure out how we would safely bring them in with their family and friends to be installed. But our team made it happen. The first few months of their meetings from December 2020 to early 2022 were all remote. Fortunately, by March 2022, we were able to transition back in person to regular meetings. How time flies. Even in those circumstances, the members of this special board proved themselves to be agile, resilient, and didn't miss a beat. They worked together to see Durham County through a challenging period of a pandemic, receiving vaccinations to combat the pandemic, working with the community on key issues such as insights on decisions with the American Rescue Plan Act funds, to help our community address the results of trying to move forward past the pandemic, passing strategic budgets, investing in needing priorities, and so many more. It has been our great fortune to receive their innovative ideas, passion, professionalism, and more. Durham County is forever greater because of their efforts. I would like to ask that Commissioner Namashina Burns come and join me for a presentation. Please come and stand right beside. We're just making up the rules now. Commissioner Burns, it's a pleasure to present this plaque from your fellow board members that reads, "Presented in grateful appreciation to Namashina Burns for dedicated service to the residents of Durham County as a member of the Durham County Board of County Commissioners and as vice chair from 2023 to 2024, and service from 2020 to 2024. Chair Nita Alam, Commissioner Heidi Carter, Commissioner Wendy Jacobs, and Commissioner Brenda Howerton. November 25th, 2024. Please join me in applause for Vice Chair Namashina Burns. Thank you, Vice Chair Burns. We'll just have you stand right there. Okay, Commissioner Heidi Carter, would you please come and join me over here? And since we've changed protocol, we're going to do it this way. Again, it's my pleasure to share this plaque of appreciation with you from your fellow commissioners, and it reads, "Presented in grateful appreciation to Heidi Carter for dedicated service to the residents of Durham County as a member of the Durham County Board of Commissioners, 2016 to 2024. Chair Nita Alam, Commissioner Namashina Burns, Commissioner Wendy Jacobs, and Commissioner Brenda Howerton, November 25th, 2024. Please join me in applause for Commissioner Heidi Carter. And now, may I ask Commissioner and former chair, Brenda Howerton, to join me. Commissioner Howerton, I am pleased to present to you this plaque of appreciation for your fellow board members, and it reads as follows: presented in grateful appreciation to Brenda Howerton for dedicated service to the residents of Durham County as a member of the Durham Board of County Commissioners and as chair from 2020 to 2023, and years of service from 2008 to 2024. Chair NITA alum, Commissioner Namashina Burns, Commissioner Heidi Carter, and Commissioner Wendy Jacobs, November 25th, 2024. Please join me in a round of applause. And if Chair alum and Commissioner Jacobs would join for a photo as well. They are. As we return to our seats, I will ask staff to please run the special video tribute to our leaders. We're not done yet. Madam Chair, I now turn the program back over to you.
Thank you, Manager Hager. I'll now bring it to our colleagues who are departing from the board, starting with Vice Chair Burns, requested to go first.
I was also told it was in alphabetical order, so that's another reason. I was told by Ms. Deborah Craigway, so I wouldn't be in a ham. Hold 1 second. I got sworn in standing up. I'm gonna leave standing up.
Wait, before you start, do you want to move, can we move the mic down so it's not blocking you, like the whole block of the mic?
Oh,
So that, there you go.
go on, Commissioner Long. All right. She knew I was ready for my close-up. Okay. I'll do my best to be quick, and everyone here knows that that's not true. So, first off and foremost, I'm just really excited about all the work that we've been able to do, and I'm gonna do my best to stick to my script. I don't know how I'm gonna thank you all for how much you all have changed my life. I really seriously don't. Calling on people will most assuredly get me in trouble this evening, so I won't take that much long, or take too long, and I will call on a few people, and if I don't call on you, blame my head, do not blame my heart. So I'm happy to have my mom with me here tonight, happy to have my dad watching. My parents believe, like so many others, that my ideas, my thoughts, and my life mattered. That's why I feel that way about all of you. Your ideas, your thoughts, and your work matters. I was raised to believe that everyone has value. They learned that from their parents. If my maternal grandmother was here, Mary Agnes McDonald Robinson, she would tell me to act pretty. That was her opposite way of saying act ugly or to act ladylike. She was very genteel, very demure. While my paternal grandmother was similar, she was a bit more stern. When my father was selected with my uncles and a few others to integrate his high school, many of the neighbors said that they would kill the first black kid to get off the bus. So when my dad and my uncle were sitting in the kitchen one day, some neighbors asked if she was really seriously contemplating sending my father and my uncle to school. My grandmother said the president has signed that piece of paper and someone has to go. She was fearless and faithful and gave my father courage. That's the same courage that I've had to serve you. She was willing to send her children into the lion's den for the greater good. Many might ask, what does that have to do with the night? Well, I want you all to know I threw myself into the lion's den for the greater good for you all many nights, and I hope you all know that. I will do my best. I will do, in the spirit of both my grandfathers, who I haven't mentioned, I will do my best to keep my sermon succinct. And in the spirit of my grandmothers, I will throw myself into the lion's den one more time for the greater good. So during my tenure as county commissioner, I had really high standards. I didn't just have them for the staff and the public, I had them for myself. Many of you all know I was working a full-time job and coming here at night. I had family members in the hospital, and I still never missed a meeting. I did my best to serve you. A lot of folks, I know you've seen a lot in the news recently about hurricane recovery. I would get up in the morning, I would go to my job, and long story short, no matter what you see, we finished the recovery for Matthew and Florence. And I'm proud to say that I worked on a team of dedicated public servants who by next October will have built more than 4,700 houses for people who don't have them. And we did that in the midst of the pandemic, while at the same time getting set up with a program to pay for rental assistance. another $1.3 million, and that dedicated team of individuals kept 191,000 families in North Carolina in their household, including some of the people in this room. And after doing that from 9 to 5 every day, then I came in here with y'all. And I was really tired a lot of days, but when I look back, I would come into county commission on fight night. That's what my friends called it, with the whole armor of God. And if I were to say right now, Dexter Avenue Baptist Church, the first thing people think about is Martin Luther King. We don't think about the other pastors, but I like to think about the pastor who was at Dexter Avenue Baptist Church right before Martin Luther King was there. Does anybody know who it was? Okay, my parents were the only people that made us watch educational videos. All right. It was Vernon Johns. And so Vernon Johns was a race man, but he had a different methodology. He was most famous for saying, if you see a good fight, get in it. As a county commissioner, I saw a lot of good fights, and I got in them. And in my absence, I'm just asking that the community continue to do the same. But I want to start here, and this one's going to be tough for some folks. But last week, we were at the joint school board meeting, and we learned that 47% of Durham public schools were failing. That's a 50-50 chance of going to a failing school here in Durham County. I can be supportive, and I can still hold people accountable at the same time. And here's proof. For 4 years, I sat on this county commission, gave every raise that was asked for to our teachers, to our classified staff, and to our bus drivers. When I first got here, I came out swinging. Juneteenth became a holiday. We banned discrimination against hair. We paid for summer learning programs and housing services. With the help of Commissioner Long, we launched a tax relief program. We led a cost of living increase for the employees. Employees, please get one next year. I've already told the new board members. We developed the immigrant services position. Shout out to Nayo, who's here. And then we expanded pre-K. Those last two are really important to me about the bus drivers and the pre-K, because I watched my mom safely drive kids to school on her bus route for over 20 years, and I watched my mom take her annual check and trek to supply stores to make sure her classroom was the most aesthetically pleasing, because she wanted her students to be able to learn in a good environment. Fast forward to the present, and I saw all three of my sisters doing the exact same thing in classrooms in Durham, taking money out of their paychecks to make sure that their classrooms had what they needed. So I was proud to support the schools, and I'm just asking us that we hold them accountable as they move forward. Someone's cell phone is going off. I guess it's time for me to go. The same thing happened with Black maternal health. I looked at a couple of agendas before I became a county commissioner, and the first thing I saw was the same thing everybody saw. Black women in Durham were 4 times more likely to die in childbirth than other women. That was in 3 budgets before I became a county commissioner. That was in the narrative. You can always tell what people care about based on where they put their money. So I went to my colleagues and I said, can we put some money in Black maternal health? And these 4 women knew how important it was to me, and we did it. And I want to speak plainly about Black maternal health. These are the sacred grounds where disparities have far too long been festered. Through initiatives like our Black Maternal Health Consortium, we've sought to dismantle those barriers. Thank you so much to Joanne Pierce for leading that, and to Rod. We added maternal health nurses, we added lactation specialists, and we added a couple of more nursing positions. And those things were all really important to me. Same thing to be said for what we did for our veterans. I know Lois Raven was here. I watched my dad say almost on a monthly basis, I love being a veteran, because he will tell you that's what changed the trajectory of my life. People say, how did I make it off the Chickenfoot Road to UNC Chapel Hill? It's because my daddy was in the Air Force, and I got exposed to a lot. So our veterans in our county, it's about 15,000 of them. Secretary Hall, I think that's a low count. I don't think they've counted everybody, but when I got on county commission, we could only service about 5,000 of those. Lois came to us and said, Commissioner Burns, we need some more help. And I said, I'm going to advocate for you to get some more positions, some more cars, which she got, and they actually are in a new building right now. I did that for my dad and for my mentor, Secretary Larry Hall, because I know how much it means to them. And I saw a fight, and I thought it was good for me to get in it. The same thing can be said for our disparity reports. Thank you to Tammy Hall, who we stole from the governor's office. We build so much here in Durham. I got an email today from a citizen. We build so much in Durham. And the stuff that we build isn't reflective of the people here. 35% of the folks are African American, 15% of the folks are other, 55% of the folks are women, but only 2% of the money that we were spending was with women and people of color. Well, we were able to change that once we did a disparity report, and we hit a 25% goal. And what has made me real proud, the past 3 groundbreakings that I've done with Durham Public Schools, without us saying anything, the developers and the contractors got up there and said what has made them most proud is that there are parents building these schools for the students that will be going to those schools. Kids take an extra bit of pride in the school if they know that mama laid the brick and their daddy did the sheetrock. So I'm happy to say that we are actually using our dollars for people in this community. Once again, I saw a good fight and I got in it. Last but not least, you've all heard me say it a million times, the quickest way to stop a bullet is with a job. And we can sit here and talk about violence interrupters all day. That's just one tool in our toolbox. Our folks want to get to work, so I was really proud this year when our board decided to reallocate dollars, and we put more money into the Haiti Reborn Justice Movement, put more money into Project Bill, put more money into Juvenile Crime Prevention Council, and put more money into Project Safe Neighborhood. Sheriff, thank you for bringing that to us. And last but not least, put more money into My Brother's Keeper. That's what these kids need. They need structure. They want structure. If I can get a kid, a lot of people on the city council will tell you the quickest and easiest way to build more housing is to reduce parking requirements. I don't think dismantling those barriers. If we really want to do more for housing, we need to dismantle the barriers that get people to affordable housing in the first place. I sit up here on this county commission alone by myself after pushing not 1, not 2, but 3 generations of my family members in wheelchairs. And I said there was absolutely, positively no way I felt comfortable doing away with parking requirements. Thousands of cities in the United States, and only 9 cities don't have parking requirements. But I digress. We're going to move along. We invested money in the Haiti Reborn Justice Movement because we were tired of seeing children die. And that was one of the issues that we had in Durham Public Schools. With rapid gun violence, I made it a mission to save our boys and girls, a mission of action, not rhetoric, shared by our forever mayor, Elaine O'Neill. This year, after reallocating those dollars, I'm hopeful that even though I'm not on county commission, we'll see less gun violence here in Durham. Because what I do know is if I can get somebody to work, and this is where I'm gonna give my shout out to J.B. Buxton for the Bulls Initiative, for Back at Work, and for allowing us to let Haiti Reborn rest at Durham Tech. Because I know if I can get a person off the streets and I can get them into a job training program, if they get into a job training program, they can get into some housing. If they can get into some housing, they can get off of DHA. If they can get off of DHA, somebody else can get into that house. If they can get another house, if they can get their kids off the street, those kids aren't pulling down the tax values on those blocks. That block tax value ain't going down, so now the bank can give a better interest rate. If the tax value isn't going down, then we're not gonna have to raise taxes. And we did all that because we decided to give somebody a job. Everything we do here has been interconnected, and I hope y'all see that. So we are people who remember here in Durham. I skipped something, I'm sorry. Tonight I stand before you not as a commissioner stepping down away from my duty, but as a daughter of this soil tethered to you by a shared love for this place, for its people. Together we have borne witness to triumphs etched in our veins of this community, and we've endured challenges that have tested our collective resolve. I leave this stage without acknowledging the undercurrent of the pain and frustration that many of you all feel and still carry. The national landscape, tilted by the weight of an unqualified figure ascending to the highest office, casts a shadow across our aspirations. And here in the heart of Durham, the prospect of one political action committee dictating the course of all 3 branches of our local government is a concern we must confront with vigilance. Democracy, fragile as ever, demands our unrelenting guardianship. To share our pain is to name it, to name the uncertainty that coils itself around our spirits, whispering doubts about the road ahead. But let me tell you this, uncertainty is not a foe to be feared. It is in its essence the crucible of hope. What lies ahead is not a cause for alarm, but a cause and a hearken for hope. The story of Durham, of its people, has never been one of complacency or surrender. It is a story of rebirth again and again, rising not because the odds were in our favor, but because the hearts, our hearts, your hearts, my hearts, burn too brightly to fail. We are a people who remember. We are a people who know that progress is not linear, the setbacks in the soil in which our deepest roots find purchase. We remember that power, true power, is not in the hands of the few who wield it recklessly, but in the quiet determination of those who refuse to let injustice have the final word. We got a lot of people who are focused on just being in office to be in office. They want power to have power. I did what my mentor told me to do, use my power while I had it. A lot of people, I don't agree with everything that, what's my girl? I don't agree with everything that Margaret Thatcher said. She was a conservative, I'm not. But they asked her one time, why in the world was she moving too fast? She says, it's because I intend to go very fast. So when I got here, I did a lot because I intended to do a lot, and I didn't think they would keep me up here that long, and they proved me right. So we must hold each other accountable and hold the line. We must refuse to measure our worth by the wealth we accumulate, but by the hope we inspire. It's foolish to think of one's legacy, especially in such a short term. So I don't know what my legacy is going to be here. That said, I hope some lives were transformed, and will continue to be transformed with the work that we did and the measures we put in place, because you all have truly transformed mine. I hope opportunities were made, and I pray that our endeavor for justice remains unyielding. Durham, this is our charge, to ensure that the promises of today do not become the unfulfilled legacies of tomorrow, to assure that the arc of history, though long, bends not just toward justice, but towards joy, towards love, and towards liberation. As I leave my seat on this commission, I do not leave you. I do not leave this work. The work is too great, and none of us do. My colleagues don't do it. This work is too great, it's too urgent, and it's too sacred. It is the work of dismantling systems that oppress those elevating voices, long silence, of creating a Durham where every child, every family, every dream can strive without fear of the world's indifference. So I'll leave you with the words of, not the words of farewell, but I say this: stay awake and stay woke. Stay woke to the power of your convictions, to the sanctity of your vote, to the possibility of the future shaped by the hands that hold one another rather than the hands that harm one another. Let us be the architects of the arc of justice that we seek to bend, the champions of that cause, and the stewards of an unimaginable legacy. Hope is not passive. It is defiant. It is deliberate. It is what you will keep us moving, even when the road ahead is steep. Let us dare to hope, not in naivete, but in the stubborn knowledge that this city, this county, this nation has been forged by those who believed in what they could not see. I will walk to tomorrow with hope, just as I know that you will, and I will carry Durham with me always, its beauties, its struggles, its promises, because even as this chapter closes, the story of us is far from finished. Thank you for this privilege, for the trust, and for the journey, and I look forward to writing this next chapter with all of you. I love you. The struggle continues.
Thank you for your beautiful words, Vice Chair Burns. I'll now give an opportunity to Commissioner Carter.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I like this vantage point better, so I think I'll stay here. I can see everyone sort of in an even kind of way. Well, good evening, everyone. I really appreciate this chance to make some final remarks. I just hope I can effectively express how grateful I am for the chance that I've had to serve Durham over the past 20 years, 12 on the school board and 8 as a county commissioner. I feel like both of those terms are extensions of one another, and it's been 20 years total. I sincerely believe it's a privilege to get to do this work. It's been really meaningful in my life. It's expanded my life. It's been enriching. I truly value the experience, and I've loved the work. I like to think about complex social challenges and how to make them better. I like the learning and the nerdy aspects of policy development. I like to go to meetings and respond to constituents. To have had the chance, this is the main thing, to have had the chance to meet and to work with so many wonderful people I otherwise would probably never have met. And I see some of you across this room tonight, county administrators, such consummate professionals who know your work so well, department heads, all kinds of dedicated staff members, business leaders, nonprofit partners, our partners at Durham Tech, our partners in the city council, our partners at Durham Public Schools, all the other elected colleagues over the years, both here locally and also at the state level. including each and every one of you. I've really enjoyed working with each and every one of you. We haven't always agreed, but we almost always have. If you look back at our voting record, it's almost always unanimous when we make these important decisions that we care about so much. When I first started this work, I was a green and idealistic 43-year-old with four public school-age children, and I wanted to work to make our public school system the best for my children and for all children. Now I'm an older, maybe wiser, certainly more wizened grandmother whose eldest grandchild, Lou Francisco, is an eager, happy, curious kindergartner at Lakewood Elementary School. A lot of time has passed, and when I look back and reflect on the inexorable march of time, I believe we have made many investments and policy decisions that benefit our community, and I see that we are still working to solve many of the same problems. I think it's possible there may be no end game to this work, but we are never free to desist from it. The work may be slow and incremental, but we all know the need for results is urgent. I've said many times over the years that our fundamental challenge is to break the link, a powerful and unfair link between race and all the outcomes we measure, every single one. Education outcomes, health outcomes, wealth outcomes, like graduation rates and reading proficiency and housing security and food security, and on and on. Basically every outcome related to health, education, and wealth. And with the recent election, these next years are likely to be the most trying times for this social justice work. We must double down on our local efforts to break the link. It will be important that we work together here at the local level to remember our Durham values unite us in the struggle for justice and freedom and the breaking of this link. So I urge you to continue the good work the county is doing on affordable housing and homeless services, including the construction of a new homeless services center, and looking at new ways to increase our emergency housing shelter supply and also different kinds of emergency shelter. Continue the good work of improving wages across the public sphere, the Durham County living wage, and making sure that extends to Durham Public Schools. Enacting policies that benefit children and families, like pre-K expansion and fully funding public schools and the guaranteed basic income pilot and our school bonds. Please keep on a frequent tempo for a school bond schedule. Other good work, decreasing county reliance on fossil fuels and improving our environmental resilience, welcoming and connecting our neighbors, our immigrant neighbors to resources and services. This is going to be especially important, I think, in the near future. Protecting farmland and farmers and improving the food system to ensure healthy food for all and the sustainability of our planet. And please be sure and pay attention to the farmers when you all are working on the UDO rewrite. I've heard just at our farmland board meeting last week that there are some concerns there. And when we're thinking about improving the food system, remember, we want to be cooking the healthy food in Durham Public Schools. We need our kitchens there. It's a really important effort on our part here. As ever, I especially urge you to continue to support our public school children and families in the form of the most generous local funding possible. I'm proud of the county's ethos to do our best to fully fund the budget requests from our partners on the Board of Education. This will be more important more now than ever before, with the threats to public education coming from the North Carolina General Assembly in the form of inadequate funds for teachers, operations, facilities, and the draining of billions in state funds over the next decade for private school vouchers and for segregation academies. We must do all we can locally to protect the promise of public education and to make sure all of our children grow up, first, to be educated and wise voters who can accurately evaluate the governmental policies that will truly benefit them and also protect democracy. Second, to empathize with others from different backgrounds and build social cohesion at a time in history where we are hyper-divided. and to have rewarding work that allows us all to take care of ourselves, our families, and our communities, and to one day completely break the link. To achieve the promise of public schools, we must fund our public schools, and we really must go to school together. Now, I want to thank, I'll shift from policy stuff, I want to thank those who have been especially connected to me during my time in office. I want to send a shout out to my awesome friends, the Bees and their spouses, who helped me run a successful campaign. Every single election, I knew nothing about running a campaign, neither did they, but we figured it out. I want to lift up my friend Jeannie, my dearest neighbor and running partner for 20 years. Who knew that runs could be such fruitful policy and therapy sessions? I want to thank her for always listening and offering helpful feedback and guidance. I especially want to thank my family, starting with my children. They were here earlier. I'm sorry they couldn't stay, but you know, there were a lot of little ones that came. I'm so proud of them all. Jamie, Dusty, Haley, Dylan, and Jamie's husband, Nick, Haley's husband, Eric. You have, each in your own way, they've really supported me with policy analysis, communication strategies, technology support, and it's just especially with love and moral support, especially during times of political drama. And my 4 grandchildren who were here earlier, ages 5 years down to 5 weeks, Lou, Rose, Forrest, and Georgia, they're my heart's delight, and they're one of my big reasons to retire. And most especially, I want to proclaim my deepest gratitude to my wonderful husband, Scott, who's sitting right here. We've been together for going on 50 years. We were high school sweethearts at the age of 17, and we both came to Durham for college at Duke. We got married, and we each had jobs in RTP, and we built our happy life here in this great community. Scott, I hope you know, I want to be sure you know that you are my most trusted advisor, and you are my most dependable supporter and encourager. You've been there for me always, through thick and through thin. And you are the handyman of my heart. You have this uncanny way of being able to fix anything and to always make life better. Yes, you're going to fix my stove before 20 people come on Thanksgiving, but it's more than the physical things that you fix. I'm so lucky to be married to a person who is the love of my life and my forever best friend. I'm lucky to get to go to sleep every night and wake up every morning beside someone who I think is kind and funny and handsome and smart. If I could pick just one person to spend my retirement years with, it would be you, Nino. And I'm excited for this next stage of our life together. Finally, I'm also excited about the future leadership of Durham County. I will not be at the meeting on December 2nd when the new board is sworn into office, so I want to offer a warm welcome to Mike Lee, Michelle Burton, and Stephen Valentine. I know they will be strong and thoughtful leaders alongside our steadfast veteran commissioners, Wendy and Nitha. And I will always be in the background cheering you all on. So farewell, good people of Durham County government. County staff, you're still the bomb. I've loved these days, and I will miss you.
Commissioner Carter, you've got me teary-eyed. Now last, but definitely not least, Commissioner Howerton. Commissioner Howerton, this is going to be my last time getting to ask you to turn the mic on.
I got it. Isn't that great? Won't have to do that anymore. Oh. Well, Heidi, you've got me a little bit something here. Yeah, I'll do this. So, thank you, Madam Chair. And, you know, as I listen to my colleagues, I am just a little full right now. And so I am honored to be here, to be able to express my gratitude to this community, to have supported me for 16 years as their county commissioner, and as they so lovingly say, their people's commissioner. You know, I started out years ago as soil and water supervisor. I started as a farm girl. I still was interested in what it meant to ensure that people had good food, safe water, and that our farmers were taken care of. So I started there, and I figured that that would give me a place to start to begin to understand what it meant budgeting, for county budgeting, and understand what it took for those dollars to be dispersed in the right direction. So after 6 years of serving there, with some other things happening in my life, I decided to run for county commissioner. Now, it wasn't something that I woke up one morning and said, oh, golly, this is something I'm going to do, because I constantly wanted to go the other direction. But I ended up as an executive coach at NCCU and challenging the students in public administration to live their dreams, to do what it is that they needed to do, they wanted to do, to push themselves. Until one day they turned it on me and said, what is it that you want to do? What is it that you're willing to push yourself to do? And I said, that's not the way this is supposed to work. I'm the coach, so you're not supposed to challenge me. Well, I went home and I had to think about that and pray on that a lot, because prayer has always been the thing that's grounded me. My faith has always grounded me. So I ran in 2008, and I have served you and been honored to serve you ever since. And what I will share with you in this moment is that, and taking it on was not an easy road for me. It was a place in my life then that I was living with a lot of pain, a lot of madness, and a lot of anger of losing 2 children. So it was a catch-22 of wanting to fight for the community, but also fight against the injustice that I had experienced and other mothers like me had experienced of having their children gunned down. So I didn't take this on as something to uplift my ego or to make me shine. It was a time of pain. So this has been a journey of wanting to do good for the people that trust and believe in me. And when you know that people trust you and believe in you, you want to do the very best that you can. And that's where I have stood all of these years. And as I reflect on leaving this role, I'm not going anywhere. I'm just not going to be here. Children have always been at the crux of why I do what I do, because they are our future, and they expect us to stand for the things that take care of them. As I have been a commissioner, also as far as being a commissioner in the state of North Carolina, And when I was sworn in as the president of the state association, my initiative was that all children thrive. I go right back to our children. And what that meant is thrive. It means that our parents have to thrive. Children can't thrive if parents don't have jobs, if they don't have a place to live, food to eat. So that's what thrive was, is that we take care of the parents so the parents can take care of the children. I am so grateful for the staff. The staff has supported me. They've helped me to grow. They've pushed us. They've helped us to do what's necessary in these roles. And I am truly thankful. It says, what is that saying? That I am who I am because of who you are. So I say, may the work we've done continue to inspire progress, and may the future be shaped by the dedication we share. 16 years of service has defined this journey for me. Leaving after 16 years is not an ending, but a new chapter. One where the legacy of our efforts live on, and the love for our shared mission continues to guide the way. You know, public perception always, it can either be can strengthen you, or it can pull you down. But we are responsible for the public perception that we are. You know, as you advocate to improve the lives of ordinary people, such as promoting social welfare programs, improving workers' rights, and fighting the corruption or departure of some of our people that we have to work with, working with Go Triangle. All of those things are part of the things that we have worked over the years. I'm not going to go through all of the things that I've done. For 16 years, I've done a lot, and if I started naming them, we'd be here too long. So I'm not going to do that to you. Just what I want to leave you with is that my service for 16 years has been about you. It's been about this community. And anybody that's been around me have heard me say that my work has not been about me. Because getting paid $50 a month can't be about me. It is about this community. It's about whether grandma and grandpa have a place to live, or whether grandma and grandpa have food in their mouth to eat, whether our children get a good education. It's all of those things that has weighed on me for 16 years of my life in serving you. And I am so thankful that people were willing to vote and keep me there for 4 elections. You know, running elections is not easy. And today, they are not cheap. When I ran the first time, I think I probably raised around $8,000. You can't do much with $8,000 today. So, my hope for this board is that we continue, whoever sits in these seats, the new elected individuals, that they continue to listen to our staff, to partner with our staff, to partner with our business community, to partner with the people at the state level. Because it takes all of us to get this work done. It's not one person's ego getting in the way. It's not one person. It takes all of us. You know, one of the questions that people consistently ask me, not just in Durham, but across the state, when I became the chair of this board, because we were in a little bit of a upset. And they ask, how have you been able to have a board now that's not in such disarray? I said, it's not about me. I get to sit in the middle chair, and I get to sign off on some stuff, but it's not about me. It's about the board coming together to get the work done. And what was said was, people elected us to get the work done and not sit up here and fight with each other. And they expected us to do the work. So whatever was going on with our little egos and our little feelings, we had to put them in our pocket and sit on it. So we were able to come together as a board to work for you. And I thank this board that we became a board of working together, and we got a lot of work done. So, and I have to say something about our clerks. You know, these folks put up with us, 5 of us, on a daily basis. They must be God sent, because how they deal with us, I don't know. And they're always smiling, or they just don't talk to us. But most times, so, I love you guys. Thank you so, so much. I will miss you terribly, because Monica, you and I have been together for the whole 16 years. Maceo? 10. Thank you. So I just say again to this community, thank you. Thank you for being there. Thank you for trusting me. And let's look for the next chapter. It's coming. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Howerton. I'll now pass it. I'll let Commissioner Jacobs go first with our comments.
Thank you, Chair Alam, and thank you to, I'm just going to use first person names now, Machina,
How many
Heidi,
pages is that, Wendy?
and Brenda for all of your comments tonight. We have indeed shared an historic board together over the past 4 years. Historic all-female board, first in our state, and sadly still a rarity in our nation. But we have also been a historic board over the past 4 years, navigating many difficult challenges together. From our first days together through the pandemic, a malware attack, many months of virtual meetings to make important decisions about tens of millions of dollars of funding for our community, the CARES Act, emergency rental assistance, ARPA funding, the national opioid settlement, decisions to help our businesses, schools, nonprofits, and people in our community not just survive, but also thrive. Over the past 4 years, we have each changed and grown and learned a lot about ourselves and each other. But what has been a constant is that we have been united in our passion, care, and dedication to the Durham community. And we have each tried to make decisions in the best interest, putting our community first. We have stayed focused on policy and budgetary decisions, and 99% of the time, we have been of one accord. And when we have disagreed, we have moved on, putting aside personal differences so that we can do the work of the people of Durham. I'm incredibly proud of all that we have accomplished together as a board with the help of our expert, hardworking, and dedicated staff over the past 4 years. We have expanded Durham Pre-K and launched Durham Thrives Guaranteed Income Pilot, investing millions of dollars in our children and families. We have helped create more than 6,000 jobs and an economic impact of $2.9 billion, and expanded our Bulls initiative that is connecting Durham youth to these great jobs. We've increased the salaries of our employees to make sure they are being paid competitive market wages and raised the county minimum wage to more than $19 an hour. We've created hundreds of new units of affordable housing in partnership with the city, and also launched Durham's first supportive housing community, Carver Creek. We have approved transformational new land use, transit, and renewable energy plans. We've prioritized investment in our children's education and future by approving historic budgets for Durham Public Schools and the largest bond for education in Durham's history. And being an historic all-female board, we have bought a lot of things for our community together. The shops of Hope Valley Shopping Center, housing our new Board of Elections, the former Boys and Girls Club, and a beautiful new farm campus. And yay, we finally have a restaurant opened across the street from the county building. And there are so many other things that you all have also mentioned that we've accomplished together. I want to take a moment to celebrate each of you, Heidi, Brenda, and Nimashina. One of the things that I've learned over the past 12 years is to appreciate the magic of governing. Each of us comes into this role as a public servant, as an elected representative of the people of Durham, with our own life experiences and gifts and talents, and each with our own unique perspective and skill sets that we contribute to the magic that is the new entity that we create together, our board. And I am grateful to each of you for what you have uniquely brought to our board and what I have learned from each of you. Heidi, you've been an incredible Durham public servant, humble, hardworking, and never seeking to take credit for anything you do. First 12 years on the school board, also serving in leadership, and then 8 years here as a county commissioner. Most people would think you were nuts. You brought your passion for our schools to this board and really helped build a more positive and collaborative relationship with our two boards, the school board and our board, and helped champion the need for a bond and more capital funding for our schools. You brought your public health background and the fight to address climate change directly here. You led important policy initiatives like the county's banning of single-use plastics, a successful TNVR ordinance, and the $15 per hour minimum wage for county staff, when you got me to vote against the budget on that one. And you've been a dedicated and valued member on the boards of which you have served, like HSAC Alliance, Animal Services, Farmland, EAB, where you've advocated well for those boards. I've learned so much from you and your steadfast focus on policy, always trying to keep us in our lane as commissioners, asking tough questions, willing to give people the benefit of the doubt, and never making things personal. I've admired your boldness in speaking the truth and sticking to your values. Heidi, I will really miss you leading us in ukulele serenades to our staff, and your bike parked in your parking space in the parking deck. Brenda, I honestly don't know what it will be like to not serve alongside you. We have been together for my entire 12 years on this board, and we have been through a lot together. We have grown, changed, and learned, I think, a lot from each other. I will always be grateful to you for the way you mentored me as a new commissioner, encouraging me to get involved in North Carolina Association of County Commissioners, the School of Government, and applying to the Elected Leadership Academy, and helping me navigate my first national county commissioner conference. You taught me so much about the personal side of being an elected official and governing, and the importance of relationships. I have been inspired by your strength and resilience in the face of many of life's unthinkable challenges that have powered your championing of children and of gun violence and poverty. And I think we really complemented each other when we had the opportunity to serve in leadership together. And I am proud about how we have been able to support our new leaders, Nida and Naimashina, as new voices and strong leadership on our board. I will miss you not keeping our meetings on time, always being able to count on you for fun and dancing, and knowing that you will be showing up at every single event in our community. Naimashina, I have enjoyed working with you in many ways. You have been an awesome colleague to have with someone to nerd out with on policy, who can get equally excited about economic and workforce development. Your encyclopedic knowledge about just about anything is astounding, as well as your seemingly photographic memory that just does not forget any single thing that has ever happened or been said. I admire how rooted you are in where you have come from, and I will never forget that you lived on Chickenfoot Road. And your incredible love and dedication to your family, and how you bring this every day to the work that you do, has been an inspiration to me. You are often fearless in your honesty and unafraid to say what others may also think. I admire the fierce passion you bring to this work and for your love for our community. I will miss your skilled oratory, great storytelling, and ability to make people laugh. You have brought valuable expertise and knowledge to our board in areas such as housing and public safety, both at the state and federal level. I will miss your smile and your energy, and you saying, "I'll be real quick." And I just wanted to say to all three of you, incredible public servants and leaders, between the three of you, there is a combined 40 years of service to our community. So thank you, and I wish you well and the very best in the days ahead.
Thank you, Commissioner Jacobs. You know, this momentous and bittersweet occasion has all of us in our feelings, and I knew I could count on Wendy to go into all the weeds. And so I wanted to use my time to really take a moment to honor and highlight the three incredible women that have served on this board alongside me and our community and our county with immense dedication, strength, and vision. Commissioner Howerton, Commissioner Carter, Vice Chair Burns. Should I get my close-up? Over the past 4 years, we've navigated a historic and transformative board together. We faced challenges that tested us, moments that inspired us, and milestones that reminded us why we all serve, our shared love for Durham. And through it all, we've been a board defined by passion, resilience, and purpose. Commissioner Howerton, Brenda, what can I say? You are one of the strongest, most fearless women I have ever met. You've been the beating heart of this board, and I'm constantly in awe of your energy and vitality. You might actually be the youngest member of this board because you light up every community event and space, especially when you hit the dance floor. Meanwhile, I'm the one who needs knee surgery. But truly, your leadership has been a beacon for me. You've shown me the power of standing firm in one's beliefs, and you've been someone I could always turn to for guidance. I will miss your jokes on a regular basis, which all of us here know would not be suitable for me to repeat in these chambers. And I'm so happy for you and your newfound freedom to use your favorite word, however, and whenever you want. And for those of you who don't know it, it's the same as Madam Vice President's, the one that starts with M and ends with a. Heidi, no offense to anyone else on this board, but I'll say that Heidi, you've been my favorite. Why? Because you and I have shared a very important belief that sometimes these meetings just go on way too long. But jokes aside, your steadfast commitment to Durham's children, your work on the school board, and your advocacy for our planet are legacies that will resonate for generations. My own children have a brighter future because of your tireless efforts. And your compassion, wisdom, and ability to cut through all the noise to focus on what truly matters has been an inspiration. Naimashina, the yin to my yang, you are a force of nature. Your brilliance and memory are unmatched. Seriously, I've never met anyone who can recall details with your level of precision. And you and I started this journey together, and though you're leaving the board, I know this is far from the end of your service to Durham. And let's be honest, it's definitely not the end of you telling me when I'm wrong. Knowing you has not only sharpened my understanding of governance, but also gifted me, and I'm sure many others in Durham County, with thicker skin. And for that, I'm truly grateful. Your commitment to doing what's right, your ability to speak truth to power, and your tireless advocacy for the people of Durham are things I will always admire. So to each of you, I say thank you. Thank you for your service, your passion, and your friendship, and your leadership. Durham is better because of you, and I'm better for having served alongside you. So as we close this chapter, I know this is not goodbye, but simply a see you later. And your impact is lasting, and your love for this community will continue to inspire us all, as well as our incoming board members. So thank you all so much.
We're almost done. You guys stuck in there. You're great.
I don't want to put her on the spot, but I wanted to see Manager Hager.
I just want to say thank you for your service, your commitment, and to your families and friends. Thank you for your sacrifice. We appreciate all that you've done to support them as they've led us. Thank you.
Thank you, Manager Hager. That now brings us, yes. Sorry, Attorney Williamson. Yes, ma'am. And Clerk Wallace, if you want to as well.
I had to say something because I think Durham County is just so lucky to have had the three of you as public servants. And over the years that I've been here, I've just enjoyed my time with all three of you. I've known Commissioner Burns now for many, many moons, and the passion that she's had as a commissioner is the same passion that she had, 15 years ago? Yeah, so you have not changed at all. And Durham County has just been so much better for that. Commissioner Carter, I've enjoyed my time with you. You have, during the time that I've known you, you've led with your heart. You've been so thoughtful and just so open to learning about other people and about the needs of Durham County citizens. And I, for one, am just so grateful for you. And I think, again, that Durham County is just better off because of you. Yeah, Commissioner Howerton. What can I say about you? I have really enjoyed my time with you. You've welcomed me with open arms when I first came here. And our former county attorney, he told me when he first hired me, he said, "You have to meet Brenda. That's my girl. She knows her stuff." And he was so right. I'm just so thankful to have known you, and I know that you're going to continue doing great things, and I know that you will still keep Durham close to your heart as you go on and do bigger and better things. So I look forward to that. I wish all of you continued success, and I know that you won't forget about Durham County, I know, and you'll continue to fight the good fight. So thank you so much.
I was not expecting to speak. I actually spoke to everyone beforehand. I am very emotional, so I promise myself I won't cry. But Commissioner Carter, Commissioner Howerton, you both were here when I came on as the clerk. Commissioner Howerton was here when I came on as an administrative assistant in the clerk's office. You guys saw something in me, and I'm very appreciative of that. I thank you so much for trusting me and my staff as well. Commissioner Burns, Vice Chair Burns, you don't play about me. That's all I'm going to say. I appreciate you. I thank you so much for your guidance, for your leadership, for your support. You all will truly be missed. There's nothing else I can say. I love you all, and I thank you all for your hard work. I thank you for everything that you've done for not only myself, but for my staff as well. I will actually be graduating with my MPA from NCCU on December 13th. Under, with you guys leading the county and being very supportive of me during this time. I really appreciate that. I don't think I could have done it without the support of not only you three, but the entire board. So thank you so much.
Thank you. And everyone will have an opportunity also as we leave. Make sure you grab the commissioners, keep them as long as you want afterwards to tell them how much you love them. With that, it brings us to the consent agenda. Are there any items that the board would like to pull?
Yes.
Oh,
I'd like to pull them all so this meeting can go on longer. No, I do, no, it'll be real quick, like Wendy said. I did want to highlight just one thing. Congrats. I see that President Buxton is here. We are doing, if you all do have the time, we are doing a land transfer so that we can build some new buildings at Durham Tech. So congratulations to you, sir. I know you stuck it out to make sure we was going to vote yes. You ain't want to hear all these speeches. We going to vote yes. A shout out to Housing for New Hope. We will be doing a $2 million agreement with them on housing, our revolving housing trust fund. So there's a lot of really great stuff that's in here. And I just want to highlight that. New buildings at Durham Tech, new affordable housing trust fund, more money for student youth. And I'm just thankful that on my last night we get to make investments in kids, in education, higher education, and in affordable housing. So thank y'all. Thank you to Claudia for bringing some of these things forward. Some of them were campaign promises, and I could have put my head down after I lost my election, but I said I got 10 more months to help people. Heidi knew she had 10 more months, Brenda knew we had, and we really thank you to the staff for getting these last few things in here for us on tonight. God bless y'all.
Vice Chair Burns, okay.
I'd like to make a motion. Oh, you got one? Oh, I'd like to make a motion that we approve the consent agenda.
Okay, moved by Vice Chair Burns, seconded by Commissioner Carter. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Then the consent agenda is approved unanimously. Now I'll pass it to Attorney Williamson for the boards and commission appointments.
We're done, y'all. Hold on. Girl, you got 4 votes. Huh?
Okay, so we have one vacant position for the Durham Open Space and Trails Commission, and the board has voted for Stephen Artabane in that position. It's an at-large position, so congratulations, Mr. Artabane. I hope I'm pronouncing his name correctly. Congratulations.
Congratulations, sir, and thank you to all of the individuals who continue to serve on our boards and commissions. Please keep a lookout. There's lots of boards. I repeat this every time we do appointments, but there's lots of boards for community members to serve on. Apply to them. We would love to have your leadership in these spaces. Vice Chair Burns?
Thank you for this honor, Madam Chair. With that, I'd like to get a motion to adjourn.
Second.
No, I'm entertaining a motion to adjourn.
Oh.
She's giving me the honor.
Oh, sorry.
So, ladies,
So
I'd like to
moved.
moved by Commissioner Jacobs, seconded by Commissioner Carter. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
We are adjourned. Thank you.